Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Your Arms to Israel International Ministries and our studio. It's wonderful to have you with us this week, ready to join us in the Nazarene Yisraelite truth of the Latter-day Gathering and restoration of both houses of Yisrael. There really is no other message in Scripture. It is a message of Yahshua gathering the nations, turning them from the ways of their pagan ancestors, leaving their Western Gentile mindset behind, because it is written in Yirmiyahu chapter 16 that in the latter days all men will come from the ends of the earth, saying, truly we have inherited only lies, only vanity, and only falsehood. And in the latter days men will acknowledge their pagan foundation, and will say, in that day, Jeremiah 16, Yirmiyahu says that they shall know, the nations, they shall know that I am Yahweh, Elohim. And so that's what we're all about, this Your Arms to Israel International Ministries Shabbat Video Club. We're honored to have you with us. We're honored that you've taken the time to be with us. And please feel free to share these wonderful messages that are anointed and pinpointedly, accurately guided by the Ruach HaKodesh. And as you stay with us through the months and through the weeks, you will see your most kadosh emunah, faith, being built up in the truth of the commonwealth. That's right, the commonwealth of Israel. Yahweh wants you and I to be equal heirs, equal partakers, equal citizens, drinking of that same commonwealth, because Yeshua is king of Yisrael, and certainly not of a separate non-Yisraelite entity. And so sit back and again, make yourselves at home and be comfortable with us, and we'll go right now, immediately, into today's special Shabbat service. Shabbat Shalom. Traditional, or is this scriptural?
Yeshua HaMashiach.
We read it earlier today. And on the first day of Sukkot, we bring these arba meaning, 4 spices, symbolic of the 4 corners of the earth, the fruit of our lives before Yahweh, and the fruitfulness, even living in tabernacles in the wilderness. Yahweh made our lives fruitful. Hallelujah. And we recognize that, and we pointed toward Yahweh, the lulav and the etrog. And no matter how much wilderness we've had in our lives, during these 7 days we realize that it's all preparation for the goodness that you have in the Malchut HaShamayim. Etrog and the arba minim, the lulav, the myrtle, and the willow. And the willow. This stuff smells good. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And this is the true etrog. Right? Symbolic also the fruit of our lives and the fruit of a worldly life, presenting that worldly life to Yahweh. See, it's round, the shape of the world. Yahweh, we are yours. And while we're yours, and while we rejoice, we don't forget our brothers, and we wave the lulav and the etrog, the 4 corners of the earth, calling all Israel to come out and to join us for the coming Atid Lava, for the coming millennial kingdom. Let's enter his gates with thanksgiving. Only simcha, only simcha, only simcha. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
what do we teach about on Sukkot? Makes sense, right? I could teach about Yom Shekulo Shabbat. I could teach about how today is the first day of the Feast of Sukkot. I could teach about the lulav and the etrog. I could teach that it's a foreshadow of the kingdom. I could teach that it's a mitzvah, bringing us back, remembering what Yahweh has done for us. When we left Mitzrayim and we dwelt in Sukkot. I could do all that. And I was thinking about doing all that. But then I decided not to do any of that. I decided to share with you what some of you may have already heard. One of the most shocking, amazing, faith-building discoveries that have come across the believer's desk in the last 2,000 years. This is what I'm going to share. Many of you have heard a little bit about this. What I'm going to share with you today is going to build up your faith. It's going to encourage you in your faith, in your emunah. And it's going to not only remind you that you're on the right path, but that you always knew you were on the right path, and Yahweh is going to confirm that for you today in a marvelous, marvelous way. And so I've entitled this message, Preaching Through the 8th Day of Sukkot. We start with the first day, and we'll preach for 8 days straight. We walk by faith and by fact. We walk by faith and by fact. Now, again, this is going to be very different from a typical Rabbi Moshe teaching. This is going to be a lot of reading, and a lot of facts. All right? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. By the way, Ted, this was loose. That's why I was having problems. This thing was loose. But Yahweh in these last days is restoring how many things? All things. And one of the things He's restoring is His name, His understanding toward us in our hearts that we really are Yisrael. Amen? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So again, this message entitled, We Walk by Faith and by Fact. Faith and by fact. Factual faith can lead us to blind faith. It's good to have blind faith because that means we believe everything Yahweh tells us without questioning. But what helps us get to the point of, in the world, blind faith is decried as ignorance. Oh, brother, you're just walking, you just have blind faith in the Bible, in the Word of Yahweh. But in Yahweh, He wants to bring us to a place where we have blind faith. But we don't wake up one morning with a condition or a good tov spiritual condition called blind faith. Blind faith must be achieved through factual faith. And Yahweh in these last days has also made a provision for us to have factual faith. A faith based on the fact of the Word of Yahweh, plus other facts that He is revealing to us and restoring to us in these latter days. Amen. What do I mean? Well, let's try this. Let's go first to Yirmiyahu 16:21. Yirmiyahu 16:21. This is going to be a message unlike any other message that I've shared with you, but it is going to be an incredible revelation of what Yahweh is restoring in these last days. Yirmiyahu 16:21. Therefore, see, I will this time, at a certain point in time, Yahweh says he will cause them, meaning the nations, to know. I will cause them to know my hand. Who's Yahweh's hand? Yeshua. I will cause them to know my hand and my might. Who is Yahweh's might? The Ruach HaKodesh. And they shall know. They meaning in context of Yirmiyahu 16, all the non-Jewish or the Ephraimite nations. They will know at some point in time. What time? In this time, they will know my hand, that is the right hand or the arm of salvation, Yeshua, and my might, meaning the Ruach HaKodesh, and they will know, they meaning the nations, will know that my name is Yahweh. And unless Yahweh does some miraculous works in our day, most nations will still think he goes by another name, and they won't know that his name is Yahweh. So Yahweh has to confirm his work in the last days so that all the nations can know that he is Yahweh. So we figure, well, he's going to do that by his hand. Correct? What's his hand? It's a metaphor for Yeshua. And by his might. What's his might? Might is a descriptive term or an adjective of his Ruach HaKodesh. And he says, they will know that my name is Yahweh. My hand and my might, and a certain point in time, brothers and sisters, this is that time. We are in that time. Okay? More and more people are coming to know the true name of our Heavenly Father, Yahweh Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu. Now please go with me to Daniel 12:4. Daniel 12:4. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Daniel 12:4. But you, O Daniel, hide the words and seal the scroll, even to the time of the end, meaning the revelation and understandings of Yahweh's deep things revealed to Daniel and to Yochanan the Revelator will be sealed until when? Until the end times, or the time of the end. What's going to happen in the end? Many, that's a metaphor for the nations, many shall run to and fro, back and forth, looking and searching for da'at. Many shall run to and fro, and da'at, or knowledge, shall be increased. In the footnote number 16, we see all knowledge, both worldly and prophetic. Worldly and prophetic knowledge will increase at the time of the end in the latter days. And we are in those days, we are in the latter days, so we can expect both worldly knowledge and prophetic knowledge to coincide and to increase simultaneously. Make sense? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Again, this message, we walk by fact, not just by faith. So in order to be built up in our most kadosh faith, we could expect that if worldly knowledge and prophetic knowledge will increase together simultaneously, we can expect that our understanding of the word of Yahweh will increase as men run to and fro for prophetic knowledge, just like our understanding of the things of the earth will increase in the latter days, so that the things we find in the world carnally will coincide and complement what Yahweh is showing us in the Ruach HaKodesh. Make sense?
Yes.
In other words, in the last days, many will run to and fro seeking knowledge.
Yes.
And not only that, not only will they run to and fro seeking knowledge in the last days, Daniel was told, they will run to and fro and ultimately find knowledge in the last days. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. So that archaeologically speaking, and factually speaking, and scientifically speaking, whatever we find and discover and learn and seek in the last days must accompany and confirm our walk of emunah.
Hallelujah.
Make sense? It cannot contradict it, it must confirm. And Yahweh says that he will make sure at that time, what time? The time when knowledge increases, that knowledge, those who seek da'at, will run to and fro, meaning there'll be a hunger for knowledge, That's the onslaught of the information superhighway, or the internet. What the internet is, in essence, an onslaught of a seeking for knowledge, and many are running to and fro. That includes the prophetic. This is a prophetic word of the information superhighway, which is all part of that. But within that information superhighway, it will complement an increased understanding of prophecy and the things of the prophetic. Make sense? Now, fortunately, Yahweh has left us with some incredible things. Go with me, please, to Bamidbar 6:24. This is known as the Aaronic benediction. The Aaronic, not ironic, but the Aaronic benediction. And we know it, of course, in Hebrew as Yivarechecha Yahweh ve'yishmerecha, right? But in English, Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, "Speak to Aharon and to his sons, and say, this is the way you shall bless the children of Israel, saying to them, Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom. And by this method," turn to your neighbor and say method. By this, try that again, method. By this method you will put my name on them, on the children of Israel, and when they have my name on them, I will what? Bless them. So how do we get blessed? By having the Ruach HaKodesh and Yahweh's children put his name upon us. Make sense? Perfect sense. So we know in the last days, Yahweh at that time will what? All the nations will know that his name is Yahweh, number one. Number two, how is that going to happen? Through an increase of knowledge, or da'at, as many run to and fro, seeking not just prophetic spiritual knowledge, but also worldly knowledge that will tend to complement what Yahweh is showing them and revealing to them in the Ruach HaKodesh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And so we know that his name will be upon his people, and Yahweh will find different ways to put his name upon his people. Now, please go with me to Bereshit. So far, I've told you absolutely nothing except read a few things to you. Okay? Now I've set the table now. I'm just setting the shulchan. Bereshit 25. You like the appetizer also. No, there's an appetizer, man. Bereshit 25. You have the whole. You like steak, huh? I like steak too. Bereshit 25, verse 8. I used to do that with Nina all the time when she was a kid. She said, Daddy, stop that. But I like steak. Stop that. What's for breakfast? Then I used to say, well, I like steak. She goes, you cut that out. Bereshit 25 and verse number 8. Then Avraham, circle that word, Avraham. We're not talking about the one from Kendall. We're talking about the one from Mesopotamia. Then Avraham